not new.
I agree.
So, Bruce, the people that are throwing in the towel, they're throwing it in a little bit early, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, man. I still say, from this day forward, their odds are still better of making the playoffs than they were 1 year ago. That's all I'm going to say. Last year, at this day, I believe their ESPN percentage was 1.7% was their likelihood to make the playoffs. I know it's not considerably higher, but I guarantee you if you go pull it up, it's probably about 9 or 10% according to the way they figure that ranking out or whatever. So it's still better than it was at this time last year. But Bruce, my man, I'm up against it.
Not a problem.
Thank you. Great phone call. Love talking Tribe with you, my man.
All right. Talk to you later, J-Rock.
All right. And you know what, guys? As we go to the break, we're going to get the news here and come back with Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan. I just saw a headline came across me as we were talking baseball there with Bruce. I mentioned Roger Goodell earlier, and I don't know if you guys saw the latest headline, but the National Organization of Women have joined the vocal people wanting the ouster of Roger Goodell here. Of course, as I said this morning, he made it clear last night that he doesn't think he needs out. But hey, that's a powerful group right there. Terry O'Neill, president of NOW, is actively calling today for Roger Goodell to resign. Says the NFL has lost its way. It doesn't have a Ray Rice problem. It has a violence against women problem. The only workable solution is for Roger Goodell to resign and for his successor to appoint an independent investigator with full authority to gather data about domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, and stalking in the NFL community. It lists 49ers defensive lineman Ray McDonald, Ray Rice, Greg Hardy, and Jerry Jones. By the way, we were going to talk about that later on in the show. Have you guys heard about that? Jerry Jones, for all the talk about players facing stuff, and hey, he's got some sexual assault claims against him too. That's an owner of a franchise. I mean, there's a lot more to this. We'll probably jump into some of this with Dan Wismar coming up next. We'll keep the conversation rolling. We're going to preview the Buckeyes in Kent State. Don't forget, Vince McKee, the author, coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, talking about his great book, The Cavs History of the Wine and the Gold. But that's in hour 2. Coming up next after the news, Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan, talking some Browns and some Buckeyes and some Tribe and whatever, man. But we're going to preview the Buckeyes and the Golden Flashes with Dan Wismar, most definitely coming up next.
And now, a very special announcement from the Sports Fix.
Black bears weigh between 200 and 500 pounds. Brown bears weigh between 300 and over 1,000 pounds. Black bears run away from you. Brown bears run at you. When attacked by a bear, simply lie still on the ground and cover your face and head with your hands. When the bear has finished batting you around and mauling you, contact the U.S. Forest Service.
And that was a message from the Sports Fix.
Hey, this is Scott Fujita, and you're listening to the Sports Fix.
Business owners and professionals, do you want to take your business, your product, your team, your event to the next level? You want to advertise right here with the Sports Fix. Our listeners are among the most loyal listeners, terrestrial or internet. The Sports Fix universe is not only the radio show, but tens of thousands of fans on Facebook and Twitter. Email me, Jerry Myers, thesportsfix@AOL.com. That's thesportsfix@AOL.com. And let me help you swing for the fences and hit it out of the park right here on the Sports Fix.
Sports Fix listeners, do you tweet? So do we. So tweet with us 24/7 at the Sports Fix CLE.
Whether it's an oil change or a new set of tires, Quick Lane at Valley Ford Truck has you covered for your automotive car care needs. They're your neighborhood quick service experts. They also offer a low price tire guarantee. Choose from 13 brands, and if you find the same tires at a lower price within 30 days, Quick Lane at Valley Ford will refund the difference. They're open late Monday through Thursday until 9 p.m. and open early Saturday so you can check it off your to-do list and get on with your day. They also have a newly remodeled service lounge and additional service bay just for Quick Lane oil changes. Quick Lane at Valley Ford Truck is located at 5715 Canal Road, right down the road from Independence. 5715 Canal Road, right under the 480 bridge in Valley View, just down the road from Independence. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane. quicklane.com/Valley Ford Truck. That's quicklane.com/Valley Ford Truck.
Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by Signs and Ship, the official printing source of the Sports Fix. Locations in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Florida. Find out more at signsandship.com.
News break.
Good morning, I'm Bob Picozzi. I am sorry we let you down. Those are the words of Ravens owner Steve Bisciotti in a letter to season ticket holders and sponsors. He says the team did not do all it should have done in investigating the Ray Rice case. Appearing on CBS this morning, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell was asked if he was concerned that his job is on the line.
No, I'm used to criticism. I'm used to that. Every day I have to earn my stripes. Every day I have to do a better job. And that's my responsibility to the game, to the NFL, and to what I see as society.
And Goodell says even one incident of domestic violence in the NFL is too many. Sources tell ESPN NFL players' reps have tabled a vote on a proposal to dramatically revise the league's drug policy. That proposal would include HGH testing for the first time. 17-year NBA veteran guard Chauncey Billups tells Yahoo Sports he's retiring. He played in only 19 games last season. Sole possession of first place in the AL Central on the line tonight when Detroit tries to complete a 3-game sweep of Kansas City. 7 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. The Tigers now tied with the Royals for first.
There's nothing worse than trudging to the store for overpriced razors, so don't do it. Join DollarShaveClub.com and get the world's best razors a month. That's DollarShaveClub.com.
Now, back to the Sports Fix.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix. Rolling on here across the Sports Fix Radio Network. Jerry Myers, J-Rock, back with you. Rolling on. My man Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan going to join me on the hotline momentarily. So you guys can't call in, but you can keep the conversation going on Facebook and Twitter and email, facebook.com/thesportsfix. With us at the Sports Fix, CLE. Email us, thesportsfix@AOL.com. And don't forget, just about, within the next half an hour or so, I'm not even going to put a time limit. Coming up in hour number 2, my man Vince McKee joins us. I'm looking at the clock and I'm going, 20. Me and Dan, I talked for a minute. Coming up in hour number 2, Dan Wismar is with us now. Vince McKee, author of The Cleveland Cavaliers History of the Wine and the Gold, joins us here. Can't wait. You're going to get a chance to win a copy of that book, Beat the Box Office, baby, right here today on the Sports Fix. But that is coming up in hour 2. In just a moment, we're going to the phone lines here. Let's pull it up now. Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan. He's always with us on Wednesdays, and we'll get to the main thrust of things here. We'll preview some Buckeyes football as they try to get back on the right side of the ledger this week, and all kinds of stuff going on. Let's do it. Dan, how you doing?
Doing great, J-Rock. Good to be back with you as usual.
As always, man, fun to have you here with us. And, me and my excellent time management skills, hey, how about we jump on at 12:30? Cool, 12:55, here we go. But we're rolling, and it's all. I might as well have just left it normal time because we're only a few minutes off of the normal time anyway. But, hey, man, I'm glad to have you here. And like I said, a lot going on here. Real quick, because I mentioned it before we went to the break. I know you were on with me the other day when we were talking about the beginning of the fallout with Ray Rice and the NFL and that, but you heard right before we went to the break. Now, whenever you get the big pressure groups out there, man, I think it always changes the dynamic, even real time, of an issue. And I think that's what's happening perhaps today. Now, NOW is a big women's rights group. It's one of the biggest. And when they're out there calling for action, I'm not saying that Roger Goodell's going to lose his job, but, pressure rolls downhill just like a snowball, and sometimes you can't fight that once it starts rolling the wrong way. Do you think that maybe this starts to tweak the Roger Goodell dynamic here?
I'm not enthusiastic about seeing Roger Goodell lose his job. I'm not a big Roger Goodell fan necessarily, but I don't think anything that has happened or anything that I've seen in the last several days warrants his resignation as commissioner of the NFL. I really don't. I don't know how Roger Goodell could have prevented what Ray Rice did, or that he could prevent any domestic violence that happens by any player in the NFL. So the only thing that I can see that would cost is if it is shown in the next few days that they did, in fact, see the video that they are claiming that they didn't see. There's all kinds of evidence out there from Peter King, who has sort of walked back his claim.
I saw that. You sent me the article. Yeah.
To the audio that I heard yesterday of Mortensen saying that he had sources who had seen the video of what happened inside the elevator. One assumes that Mort's sources are NFL sources.
Did you see it
with
too?
Either the club or the front office, and that he was referring weeks ago to having spoken with multiple people that had seen that video. Well, I don't know who that would be unless he's talking to cops. And if Mort can talk to cops and get comments from the police and law enforcement about what was on the video, certainly the NFL, with all of their resources and their power, could have done the same. So unless evidence comes out that Goodell has been misleading, lying, not being totally forthright about having seen that video, and then for whatever reason deciding not to admit to it or make it public, then I think his job is probably secure and safe. Now's NOW's lobbying notwithstanding.
I'll take what you said, though, and I'll add more to it. I think if it even comes out that he had the opportunity and refused the opportunity to see the tape in order to keep himself able to deny, like I say, plausible deniability. If it even comes out that he had the opportunity to acquire it and chose not to, I think that's every bit as bad as seeing it. But you know what? I got to go back to this. It's something John brought up the other day, and it's something that I just keep thinking about. And I've seen a lot of articles start to dig in on this point. But this is something I've been wondering for all week is the police report. And what you said about people's reports weeks ago, try going months ago even, when this thing first went down. I remember talking about reports here on the show that spelled out in detail what videotape was available and what was on it, and it turned out to be exactly what was shown. But what is the difference? And this is the one place where I do think perhaps maybe not losing his job, but I mentioned the other day, whether it's some type of sanction, self-imposed or imposed by the league and by the owners, I do think you do got to show something, because what's the difference? You have a police report that blatantly says struck with the fist, knocked unconscious in the elevator. And you listen to Roger Goodell. I don't know how much of that interview that you got a chance to hear, but you hear him talk about ambiguity in the investigation. And I'm like, well, yeah, if you're listening to Ray Rice's attorney explain it, of course there's going to be a whole lot of ambiguity into what happened. But to me, I mean, my second grade son could probably sit down and block the pieces together enough to come to a better conclusion than the NFL did. I mean, nothing changed this week, Dan, except the video came out blatantly showing everybody what was already known. I mean, to me, there was no difference between what was on the police report and what was in the investigation and what was actually seen, unless you decided to let the player say, hey, it wasn't as bad as people are saying. She was passed out drunk, and you said, you know what? I'm going to stick my head in the sand and I'm going to listen to this guy, and I'm going to take his side of it, because there's nobody right now that can refute his side of the story. Now there is refutation of that, but that's the part that gets me, man, is, I mean, the police report blatantly said punched her in the face, knocked her unconscious. You don't need a video to see that.
Yeah, that's right. And like I said, if he can be shown to have been willful blindness, I guess is the term that they use. Don't show me because I don't want to know. The audio, it's available on YouTube, and I thought I had emailed that to you as well, but if I didn't yet, I will. Of Mortensen reporting, and it's audio. as opposed to video, but it's Mortensen reporting, and he reported
I heard
right
that.
down, again, weeks ago, right down to she struck her head on the railing and was unconscious. I mean, he described exactly what was on the video, and he had reported multiple sources that he had talked to that had seen it and described